offer, but what everyone saw pretty darn consistently was, and who do you think showed up at the fitness classes?
Not necessarily those people necessarily.
Right.
Not necessarily those people.
It was the fit people.
Yeah, it was the fit people. I would say the people. Yeah, it's not the people who, from a physical standpoint, need it the most.
Right.
It's the people who have already been doing it, and actually they've learned to enjoy it, and they've already recognized that it's something that they have to do. So yes,
it's the people that already are physically active, and they get excited. You mean I get to work out at work?
This
now?
is awesome.
So they're all there, and it's great. I think there's nothing against. I have nothing against keeping healthy people healthy, but the ones that weren't exercising, that didn't make them exercise.
Right.
That actually made them not want to exercise.
And then probably they were intimidated. Probably.
Yes.
So you find that.
And I think, tobacco cessation, well, that's great. And there's millions of dollars of funding available to employers for tobacco cessation. But if you're not ready to quit,
you're just
not gonna quit.
Right. And so,
I think for a long time, a lot of employers, myself included, were just spinning our wheels. We'll offer this, we'll offer that. So then it turned into, well, let's incentivize it. Let's pay them to do it. Let's give them a benefit to do it. And incentives work in terms of getting more people's attention, but you get their attention for a very limited time. If they're not committed, if they haven't found that sense of purpose on why they want to do it, they're still not going to do it. So I feel like it stayed in this old school wellness model for many years. And there's a lot of employers that are still in that model where wellness is a perk. It's an extra thing over here under health benefits. It's not a requirement. It's not part of the culture. It's not even necessarily what leadership or people believe in, but they offer it so they can check that box of, we are an employer that offers wellness.
And that whole mentality. And that's what you're trying to make, that whole shift in mentality, because it needs to be seen as something that's necessary. Right. And I love how you guys are, in kind of following you, and because I follow you, and we're going to talk more about her company specifically. I don't even know if I've said the name. It's VIDL Solutions, right? And it's actually spelled VIDL Solutions. And she has a strong presence on social media, and we'll get to that at the end. We'll tell you how to contact her. But the fact that you guys are kind of tying it in to productivity, which for everybody, people understand money, right? They understand the kind of dollars. So marrying all of that, again, you've taken it to the next level. And like you said, trying to find that purpose. And obviously for the leaders, purpose is like productivity. And then you've been able to connect to the employees. How hard has that been? I know you mentioned the millennials are all on it. Right.
They're in.
How hard has it been with the baby boomers? And have you had to do something a little different to try to bring them around?
Yeah, for sure. There has been a little bit of a shift in the industry where a lot of employers are recognizing we need to do more than just offer this extra perk of wellness to our employers. So people are starting to bring in health and well-being as part of leadership development, as part of professional development, as part of the onboarding process. So we're starting to see that. But then, as you mentioned, Keith, we need to connect their business strategy to health. And so the leaders need to recognize that, and it's kind of intuitive. If people show up and they're not distracted by their health, and they feel happy and positive and focused, they're producing better. They're doing more. They're sticking around longer. And if the culture supports that, that's better. And so there needs to be a connection made within the organization through leadership, but then that individual connection is tough. And so I call it the backdoor strategy. You can't, I shouldn't assume, but I don't believe you can approach people directly anymore with, you should exercise, you should eat better. I think it's an indirect conversation of, tell me what matters most to you in your life, and how are you showing up for those things and those people that matter most? Do you show up positive and energetic, or do you show up exhausted because you've been giving all your energy to other people that maybe don't even matter that much? And so beginning to get people to open their eyes to how they're actually showing up physically, emotionally, mentally, and then what they see is misalignment. They see that they're showing up, they're saying these things, these people are most important. And for a lot of people, it's their family, it's their kids, it's their spouse, it's their friends, it's their nonprofit organization, and certainly work is important, but these people are really important, but I hardly see them. I show up exhausted. I have no more gas, no more fuel, no more energy left for them. And so when they can identify that disconnect, but work that's important but not that important is getting all of me. that's getting all my energy. That's the backdoor strategy, beginning to have that conversation that is not telling them what to do, but asking them the right questions.
And so they see that they need to do it.
Yes,
I like that. It's kind of how you like. I mean, I'm not that I'm comparing them to my teenage sons, but it's the same thing. You can tell them sometimes, but sometimes they have to kind of come to that realization themselves, or maybe experience a little bit of falling down before they actually get it. Now let's talk a little bit about your company. Was it 2019 that you came together, or 2018? When did you?
What year are we in?
We are 2000. Halfway mark of 2019.
Yeah, so 2018.
Okay.
So it's been about a year.
Okay.
And my consulting company was previously called Population Health Consultants, because I did a lot of population health, diabetes, obesity. And when the industry changed a little bit, and when my strategy started to change, I felt like I'm not really doing a whole lot of population health. We're really working with the more leadership. We're working with the purpose. We're working more strategy-wise. I had worked with another consultant for about 10, 11 years that I absolutely loved. I would bring her in as needed. She has a behavioral health background. She has an organizational health background. And I would bring her in periodically. And we always said, man, wouldn't it be great if we could more formally work together? And the stars aligned about a year ago, where it just played out, where we were like, this is it. This is our opportunity.
Is she local? Or?
She's in Clearwater.
Okay,
that
that's
area,
awesome.
so somewhat local.
Yeah.
But her skill set complements mine very well. Personality complements very well. She's one of those people that when I'm around her and I'm talking to her, I'm like, she's just calm and very clear and very concise and sucks you in. And I always think, gosh, I need more of that. And with the behavioral health background, it's very helpful. And then she's also done a lot of work with organizations and culture and creating positivity within the culture. And so she's very strong there. So
that's a marriage. That's a perfect marriage right there.
So we've known each other a long time, but we became more formal as VIDL Solutions about a year ago.
And you guys have, can you say some of the people that you've worked with or organizations, or is that not something that you want to talk about? She's been all over the place. Let me just say that. And I don't know if she wants to talk specifically about her clients, but
it always gets sticky because I feel like I should ask them first.
Right. No, I get it.
In general, there's we work with a couple local clients. So we actually work quite a bit with smaller construction companies who are struggling with the mostly male population, high tobacco use, little bit of negativity in the culture. So we have several of those. We work with many different insurance companies, some local, some bigger. I actually do quite a bit of work, probably spend about 50% of my time doing work for Johnson & Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
They have and I'm allowed to mention that, they have a program that's been around for a long time called the Corporate Athlete. And they've advanced their science more recently. And I've been facilitating their content to leaders for about 10 years now.
That's awesome.
And so they sell that solution to other larger companies.
Oh,
and so
perfect.
then that opens the door to other larger companies that I begin working with.
Well, I know you're busy and you've been doing some amazing things. And we have about 2 minutes left. Do you have any? I know, I told you we'll fit. I feel like we need to do a part 2, but I'll come back for you. I know exactly how to reach you. But if you had like some parting words, for our listeners, being an expert in health and wellness and understanding the impact of how feeling good makes you perform better and just be a better person in general, what would those parting words be? And then after you do that, then I'm going to give people a little bit of information on how to contact you afterwards. I think from an individual perspective, from individual listeners, I think all of us struggle with something. Some of us struggle with working out. Some of us struggle with nutrition. Some of us struggle with financial. All of us struggle with something. And that's normal. And the way we get better is we have to seek some discomfort within that. We have to push ourselves, but we're not really going to get there until we identify what's important to us. So, even with something as simple as I'm going to exercise more, beginning to think about, if I were to exercise more, get up and move around more, how am I going to show up for my kids? How does that help me show up better? Am I more patient mom? Am I a better listener? How am I going to show up for myself? If I eat better, how's that going to change my day? How's that going to change me? So beginning to, I guess my parting words for individuals is to just
recognize that we all need help somewhere and that it takes some discomfort to improve, but start thinking about more than just health. Health is important, but it's just, we know it's not a great motivator. What's something more meaningful to you than health to get you motivated? And from an organizational perspective, I think companies need to recognize that it's not just about individual wellness, because if you offer all the wellness programs you want in the world to your employees, but the environment does not support it,
that's it.
It's not going to work. Nothing's going to change. And so it's two parts.
I'm going to quickly say this. Yeah. It's funny you say if the environment doesn't support that. I worked for Daimler. I worked for an automotive company years ago, and I had a coworker who would always go run during his lunch break. And some people the people who didn't like running, obviously had a problem with that. So again, it's the culture of that. That's a good thing. That's what he should do. That's what he's supposed to be doing. So I think that is really important. But I want to thank Natalie for coming by, because like I said, she's busy and the things that they're doing, it's really taking off. I'm going to give you some information if you or if you have an employer, or if you work for someone who you think could benefit from their services. This is their contact information. The website is www.VIDL Again, that's spelled VIDL solutions.com. The phone number is area code 813-944-8925. They also can be found on LinkedIn. Natalie particularly can be found there. Natalie, Natalie Johnson. She has a presence on Instagram, and so does VIDL Solutions. Also, VIDL Solutions is on Facebook and on Twitter. Did I cover it all?
Yeah.
You did it? Well, again, thank you so much. I'm so glad we connected, and I think we're going to do a part 2, because I think this is such a strong message that needs to be heard, and you're making some paradigm shifts. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. And to all of you, I hope you enjoyed it. If you missed any of this broadcast, you can find it after the airing in its entirety at www.societybitesradio.com, and then also at www.keytolifetraining.com. And with that, we thank you for tuning in, and we hope that you all continue to stay happy, healthy, and productive. We'll talk to you later.
Dance, laugh, sing, play every day.